On January 2nd, 2014.
Meeting is starting.
All right, don't be disruptive to this meeting, please. Thank you.
Has it started?
Thank you, it has.
Adequate notice of this meeting
right there.
pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been furnished by inclusion thereof in the annual schedule of meetings for 2014, which has been posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, filed with the Borough Clerk, faxed to the Our Town, the Record, the Community News, and the County Seat newspapers, and distributed to all persons if any requesting copies are sent pursuant to said act. In case of emergency or fire alarm, you must evacuate the building by using any of the exit doors in the room. There are immediately to my right any double doors at the rear of the room. Occupants must exit the building by using the staircase and not the elevator. This meeting is being recorded by both video and audio and may be rebroadcast.
Everyone, please rise for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we
God bless you.
Before we do the roll call, I'd like to take a moment to remember Joan Cuss, who was the mother of Mayor Wayne Cuss, a former Maywood Women's Club president, Maywood Senior Citizens Club president, a longtime volunteer at Hackensack Hospital Auxiliary, longtime Maywoodian from a very good Maywood family. So I'd like to take a moment to remember Mrs. Cuss. Roll call.
Mayor Padovano.
Here.
Council members, Lindenau.
Here.
Maroney.
Here.
Eisenberg is absent. Nessau.
Here.
Labret.
Here.
Ballerini.
Here.
Borough Attorney Ronald Daria.
Here.
Borough Clerk Jean Pellegris here. Borough Administrator Roberta Stone.
Here.
Our engineer report. Plan. Come on down.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor and Council, Greg Pleniak. Tonight we issued an engineer's report dated December 4th. The first item on the list is the Economic Recovery Program project, in particular the Spring Valley Avenue Pump Station. Our office is working directly with Mr. Ironman from Mr. Dario's office. I know he's coordinating a meeting as we speak as it relates to the two property owners. He's been in contact with the Maywood office building and has been able to get that information so that the meeting can be scheduled. He's having a little bit of a problem with the Hanshin property owner being that the person that we need to meet travels back and forth to Korea a lot, so the issue is just getting a time that all three of us can be scheduled at the same time. The next item relates to the East Hunter Avenue project. That project's been completed. There are a few minor punch list items that need to be addressed by the contractor. Otherwise, that project is going to be closed out. The third item on the list relates to the PSC&G improvements. That work is ongoing, and as of December 2nd, work was occurring on Central Avenue between Central and east of Route 17. The Maywood Avenue Streetscape project, our office has began the field surveying services as it related to it and completed it since the authorization of our proposal. We should have the survey drafted by the end of next week. At that time, we'd recommend meeting with the borough and also potentially discussing how the borough wants to handle the improvements between the right-of-way line to the businesses, building walls, as it relates to creating a coherent streetscape along those frontages. The next item on the list relates to the West Pleasant Avenue traffic circles, the DOT grant that the borough received, discretionary aid for $30,000. Our office attended with the borough and the borough police chief a pre-construction meeting for the project. Due to prevailing weather conditions and typically this type of striping and adhesive material being placed within roadways during the spring months and the temperatures that's required, the project will be held off into the spring to ensure that it doesn't peel and adheres correctly in the future, so that we don't have any damages occurring with respect to the street in itself, in the streetscape. The fifth item on the list relates to the community development project. As mentioned last month, our office prepared an engineer's estimate as it related to ADA improvement ramps throughout the municipality. Forward that information to Ms. Stern so that the borough grant writer can prepare a community development block grant for those improvements. The next item on the list is the Spring Valley Road, a cost estimate as related to Coolidge Avenue to Spring Valley Avenue. Our office forwarded to the borough on December 2nd a construction cost estimate for review and consideration by the borough. It was for $198,312, which would include sidewalk repair, curbing, ADA ramps to meet the ADA requirements, milling and paving and striping. And then the final item within our report relates to a discussion that occurred at last month's mayor and council meeting. It was related to preparing a roadway improvement map to illustrate all of the potential roadway locations that in the future may be placed within a borough road program. We prepared and issued that map to the borough on November 17th. Within the next week, we will be preparing a construction cost estimate for Oak in between West Pleasant and Parkway for the borough to review and for their consideration for potential bonding purposes. That would conclude our report. I'd be glad to address any questions or comments that the governing body had.
Great. I think Mr. Council President Ballerini has a comment.
Yes,
Sure.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. Two things. First, the Lincoln Avenue project.
Sure.
I think I pointed out to you at some point earlier this year or late last year a condition that had developed with where the repair had been done over the line. It's gradually gotten worse.
Okay.
So there's a pooling condition in front of my home and in front of a neighbor's home just south of me. With the rain, it's become very apparent that water's not flowing anywhere. So I'm worried about with the freezing temperatures of that becoming an ice skating rink. So
Sure.
if you do get a chance, 668 Lincoln and then south 660 Lincoln, if there's any precipitation in the next couple of days, maybe swing by and take a look at the condition that we're dealing with. I took some photos if you want. The second thing with regard to the Pleasant Avenue improvements, just an observation, again, having living on Lincoln Avenue, traveling through that intersection, Lincoln across Pleasant, the previous spotting, the spot that was done there, the planters that previously were there, all of that had been lined up equidistant between the two ends of the islands, which doesn't correspond with the center of the roadway.
Yeah.
So before we go and make that happen again, but maybe you could have a look at that and just be sure that when we're engineering it, that we try to maintain sort of a straight path across the intersection. That's it, sir.
Definitely.
Thank you, Mayor.
And we'll contact the contractor as it relates to the any ponding that's occurring on Lincoln Ave.
Thank you.
Mayor? Just two things. One, the CDBG grant has been filed for the ADA ramps with the information that was provided by the engineer. And two, Greg, I never got the December 2nd thing which is unusual.
Oh,
I'll look
for
again.
Spring Valley?
Yeah.
I'd be glad.
Yeah.
I'll
Thank
reissue
you.
it again.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else on the board? Council? Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you.
That's great.
You're welcome.
No proclamations. Continued public hearing for the submission of the change in scope for the 2013 Borough County Open Space Trust Fund. Anybody from the public wish to speak to that? We know that these were changes that we discussed prior meetings. Okay, and I will open the meeting to the public. Anybody from the public on any matter wish to speak? Come on, Mr. Richards.
Tom Richards, 347 Golf Avenue. I'd like to bring your attention to the corner of Romaine and actually the northeast corner of Romaine and Golf Avenue. The storm sewer inlet is collapsing. It's down about 1.5 feet. No, I would say that, maybe not that much, exaggerating, but it is collapsing. So apparently the bricks under the road are disintegrating. So before it collapses and causes a problem to the neighbors in the area, I'd appreciate it. Maybe the engineer can take a look at it. We've had problems like that before. And if you address it before...
Northeast corner, you said? Northeast corner, you said.
The northeast corner. And if you also take a look at the storm drain that comes down from Queen of Peace, from the dead end down to Golf Avenue, there is an indentation that indicates that there's a problem there also. Once again, not in front of my house on Gulf Avenue, but I don't know if you've run a line, if you run a camera through that line, but there is a real problem along the sewer line on Gulf. I brought it up before several times. They've blacktopped the top over it, but it's concave also, so it would indicate that that is not, there's something wrong there.
As a resident there, you experiencing any problems with the sewer lines?
No, it
I understand.
No, I'm not, I don't know with my neighbors, we're not having that, but there is a problem. It doesn't necessarily have to have a problem with the sewer line, but there's something going on there along that line. Saddlebrook will lend you the camera for nothing. I bring them up to Woodcliff Lake. They'll come up there for nothing. So it would seem to me that it would be prudent to have them check it out. That's all.
Great, thank you. Anybody else from the public?
Take a look at that, yeah.
Okay. Close the meeting to the public. Correspondence and reports of the borough clerk.
Okay, the revised agenda was just the authorizing resolution for the Vornado project that we're releasing their cash bond, and as well as preliminary bill list amendment, which we received in your mailboxes. And we did receive, that I also put a copy in your mailboxes, from the planning board attorney regarding ordinance 1414, the amendments to the zoning map, and it's consistent with the master plan and so forth. Their planning board agrees with it, and the ordinance will be on the agenda for vote at our next meeting on the 23rd. And that's all I have.
Borough Administrator.
Mayor, the only thing I have is Mitchell Humphrey will be installing the new software in the building department, and I'm waiting for a confirmation of when they're going to be doing it. But if in fact it happens on January 2nd, that Friday, we will be closing the building department for that day, and we will hopefully advise people of such so that the staff can, receive that training in a peaceful atmosphere. So as soon as I get confirmation.
You don't have a date yet?
We sent it to them, and we'd like to start, everybody on that side of the office would like to start on that Friday because we feel it'll be quiet, but they haven't confirmed that yet. If not, it'll be the first week in January. That's all I have, Mayor.
Borough Attorney?
Mr. Mayor, I have a closed session report to give.
Reports. Linda now.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a quick little report. The street sweeper was down, and as of last Thursday, it was back in action, and the guys are getting it out as often as they can. I'm sure it wasn't out today, but they're every chance they get, they're getting back out there and getting on top of keeping the streets clean. That's all I have tonight. Thanks.
Mr. Maroney.
We have quite a few electronic shred and hazardous waste going on, but we're so far into next year that hopefully the set the dates after the first of the year. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Nassar.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I encourage everyone with preteens and teens to save the date. January 8th, 2015, the Maywood School District is presenting parent internet safety presentation by the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office at 7 o'clock at the Maywood Avenue School Large Gym. This is a presentation for the parents by the Bergen County Computer Crimes Task Force. This is an examination of current issues affecting teens and preteens. That topics include the internet, about sexual predators, online, social networking, responsible use by teenagers, as well as different issues like sexting and cyberbullying. So please save the date. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Borough.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to announce the results of the elections for the fire department and the Maywood First Aid Squad. This year's fire chief is Anthony Scozzafava. The assistant chief is Christopher Tuttle, and deputy chief is Jack McManus. First Aid Squad. The captain is Elise Miller, first lieutenant is Tiffany Rutledge, and second lieutenant is Amy Porcelli. And since he is here, I'd like to thank on behalf of the council, mayor and council, outgoing captain Mark Madone, the absolute wonderful job he did for the last 2 years. Absolute wonderful job. This year's Santa-Cade, run by the Maywood First Aid and the Fire Police, the route will be the opposite of last year's route. I will be working that as Fire Police, and I'll be there for the EMS.
Christmas Eve, right?
Yes, thank you, sorry, Christmas Eve. I wanted to bring something up really quick. I know Councilman Ballerini brings it up, and we do all the time, about what a great job and what wonderful police officers we have in this town. I can't tell you how many times, since they get to the scene before we do, how many times these guys actually knock down a fire before we get there, or at the very least they stop it. They knock it down a little bit so we can get and do what we got to do when we get there. There's a running joke now with some of the guys that we're actually going to take away their fire extinguishers, because when we get there, it's out. The firefighters want to put out fires. But just in the last couple months, they put one out, a shed on, I think on Spring Valley, and last week they helped to knock down the dryer fire until we got there. And to last night, I was coming home last night, and a person got hit in the middle of, right on the corner of West Pleasant and Maywood Ave. And right in the middle, the guy was just laid out and just staring at the sky. And I was the first one on the scene, and I got out and I did whatever fire police do. I got out there really quick, and within seconds, the police got there, and they had this guy who, if you can imagine how scared he must have been, sitting there, laying there, cold, in pain, bleeding from his nose, and the compassion that these guys showed, and it's not just coming in and doing a job. These guys really care about their job. They care about this community. You can tell with every interaction you have with them. They on a daily basis, they make, they actually make the extraordinary just seem routine. So it's like you're almost used to it at this point. And then, Mark was there last night. He was with the crew, and they came to this guy to the hospital, and hopefully he's okay. But I just wanted to get that out there. I mean, you see a lot of ugliness lately on TV and all that stuff, but that's not our experience here. We got a real wonderful police force, and the volunteers in the town are just really, we don't say that every day, but I just want to get that out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Council President Ballerini?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no policy report to give tonight, but as this will be my last council meeting, I didn't want to miss the opportunity to say thank you to a few folks, starting with this council, past, present, folks that I've sat with before, folks that I sit with now, the borough clerk, the borough administrator, and the borough attorney, for all the support, the friendship, the good times, challenging me to be a better man. I appreciate all that. For the honor of serving as council president this year as well, I'm also very grateful. Of course, my friends and my family for their support through this 3-year term. Without them, this is not possible. We all say it. It's so true. To the employees of the borough for giving me the lessons that I needed to be an effective participant on the council. To the men and women of the Maywood Police Department, specifically Chief Pegg and Captain Natal, for the honor of serving as a police liaison these past 3 years. To the residents of the borough, it's been an honor and a privilege to serve, and I thank you. That's it, sir.
Okay. There's support. I would just like to thank everybody who participated in the tree lighting ceremony that occurred a couple weeks ago. Special thanks to the Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring it, the Malt Products, Freedom Bank, and Community Bank for being major sponsors and letting that all come off. Thanks to the Garden State Harmonica Club for providing some music. Thanks to Harry Helenia, Spigley Electric, and John's Landscaping for sprucing up our little island where the Christmas tree is for the lighting. Very special thank you to Council President Ballerini and Councilman Fabre, and the Natal family for helping with the movie. That's always a big hit, I think, for the people waiting online. In the cold, at least it gives them something to occupy their time with. A special thanks certainly to the fire department, fire police, and EMS for bringing Santa. A very special thanks to Mr. Richards for being Santa's helper this year again. And for everybody's entertaining, caroling will be continuing on Pleasant Avenue on Friday, the 12th. The Girl Scouts, I believe, are going to be caroling in the Community Bank parking lot. They will be collecting food for food pantry too. If you show up and bring some food for the pantry. And December 19th, the Maywood Avenue School Choir, I believe, will be caroling at the Community Bank parking lot. I think that all goes off at 6 o'clock each Friday night. So check that out. We have some new signs coming for the parks. We talked about in the past about refixing the old signs at Tenement Park, Community Garden, Grove Avenue Park, the Dog Park. There'll be signs coming that were previously discussed as part of the large bond some time ago. Thank the students at Maywood Avenue School and Memorial School for providing the decorations for the tree in the lobby here at 15 Park.
Best tree.
Yeah, it's a very festive tree. The Historical Committee is running, speaking of festivities, the Historical Committee is running a bus tour to see the holiday lights throughout the town on the December 21st, 5:30 and 7 p.m. The bus will be leaving from the Maywood Rec Senior Center parking lot. You can contact the clerk. She'll direct you to the right way to get tickets for that. It should be a good event. They're going to drive around town and check out some of the houses that are decorated for the holidays. I would also like to echo Mr. Fabray's comments about the police. There was a fire on East Hunter, and I think Officer Fair and Sergeant Smith were the first responders there. And it's a relatively older house with probably no insulation, and probably would have gone up very quickly had it not been for their fast action. Going into a very smoky house to make sure nobody was still in there. I commend them on their efforts, and the fire department as well for making sure that was something that did not get out of hand. A very special thank you to Captain Padone for your service to this town for 2 years that you served as captain of the EMS, and Mr. Richards, Gil Richards. Not an easy task for either one of you. We know that out of all of our volunteer organizations for safety programs, probably the EMTs and EMS services have it most difficult because of the amount of training and continual training that is necessary to maintain your certificates to be a volunteer. I've said it before that the EMTs and EMS get into situations where they're the ones that actually help our firemen and our fire police and our police officers when they need it most. Just a wonderful organization. I encourage more people to try to get involved and volunteer for that. I know it's very difficult to be a volunteer EMT in this town, in any town. But I thank you both for everything that you've done over the past couple of years to keep the program going and make it function as well as it has. And lastly, not least, since Mr. Bellamy will not be with us at the 23rd meeting, I just wanted to say thank you for your 3 years of service here and the many years of service you've done before that for this town. It's never easy. Everybody up here and everybody in the audience who've been an elected official in this town, it's never easy. For every up moment you might have, there's always somebody complaining about something. And it's never easy on your family life. It takes a lot of time to do it right, and you seem to have mastered that and done it with incredible grace and composure and shown some wonderful leadership qualities for this town, and the town is much better off as a result of your service. And I don't think anybody can ask for anything more than that. So thank you very much for everything you've done. It was my honor and pleasure to run with you 3 years ago. We had a great time on that campaign, and you will sorely be missed by this town and by the council. Thanks. With that, I think we can go on to the action list. Mr. Poliniak, I don't think we need it here anymore. Thanks very much. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful holiday season.
You too.
First item on the action list again is the zoning ordinance review. At the last meeting of the planning board, the board attorney has compiled a wonderful memo of all the board's comments and thoughts over the past year and recommendations. Unfortunately, because there were many things on the agenda at the last meeting, the board really never got a chance to tackle that. So I think they're going to address that at their next meeting. Obviously, we're out of time for any ordinance amendments this year, but I'm sure that the planning board will be making a recommendation to the council early next year on what amendments that they feel should be made to the zoning ordinance. I will make sure that a copy of that memorandum gets distributed to the council members so that you can start to see what the planning board is thinking about, and maybe take a look at the zoning ordinance yourself and see if there's any changes or thoughts that council members have, so that we can put a comprehensive revision together early on next year. I don't know if anybody else has anything else to add to that. I know we don't really physically have anything yet from the board. The vacant care of properties, we talked about that at the last meeting. I think the ordinance is probably ready for introduction. I know I was just reading in the League of Municipalities magazine that Bloomingdale, if you have it in the new edition that came out, Bloomingdale apparently adopted an ordinance regarding the regulation of vacant properties as well. I think our ordinance that the borough attorney has given to us seems to be pretty comprehensive and ready to go. I don't know if anybody has comments on that. We can get moving on that in early at the second meeting in January maybe. I think everybody was on the same page with wanting to do that.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Moving right along. The RFQs are out. The return date is the 23rd.
Correct.
If you haven't been through the process of reviewing the RFQs for all those council members that will be here next year, Jean has a form that you can pick up and take a look at all the, I encourage you between the 23rd when they're open and the reorg meeting, take a look at every one that comes in. You can take your notes and go through every one of them and make your comments so that we can be prepared on the reorganization to take action on appointments. So I encourage everybody after the 23rd, it's noon, if they're open, 11:30?
11.
11. To stop by Borough, the clerk's office or administrator's office and take a look at the submissions that have come in. Fire department bylaws. You have anything on that, or do you want to discuss that briefly?
Yeah, we'll have that done before the week is up.
I think that the fire department, just at the last fire board meeting, submitted proposed bylaw amendments. I think they're relatively minor in nature, but I do believe that they carry with it a substantive change regarding membership outside of...
Oh, right.
Everybody has. So maybe if the borough attorney could do a little memo for us briefly for the next meeting or the January meeting, we can hopefully take action on that sometime early next year.
Absolutely.
If anybody would like, I can have one of the chiefs come if that seems important. I can do that.
Okay. Maybe at the first board session in January. Next item, the reorganization meeting date. We're obviously obligated to reorganize, do a reorg meeting the first 7 days of the year. New Year's Day falls on a Thursday this year, so everybody is around that Friday. We might be able to do it on that Friday.
All right.
Okay.
You around? Right. Kellen, you around?
So you're looking? I think so, yeah.
All right, so does anybody have a problem with doing it on January 2nd? You want to do it at 7 o'clock, to get it a little earlier than 7:30? Sure. Okay, so long as Mr. DeHare and Mr. Eisenberg are available, I think we should shoot for this. Second.
January 2nd, 17th.
Put that on for
There'll be a resolution
Right.
required by law.
Correct. All right. The only other thing, I received a letter from Community Development. We need to, the mayor needs to appoint a representative, council needs to appoint a representative for next year. So I would presume one of the council members would probably appoint you,
Thank you.
borough administrator, so we can potentially have that on for the next meeting because they need.
Well, you can do that in their fiscal.
Yeah, they need it by December 30th.
There's some changes going on over there, so they may...
They said they need it by December 30th, so. So our next meeting we'll have a resolution on for.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything on? I know we're kind of at the end of the year here. But anybody else have anything? We'll do a year wrap up at the next meeting. Start thinking about next year. Back to you, Jim. We have 2 resignations tonight. Annual work from the Department of Public Works effective December 17, 2014, and James Panos, member of the Planning Board, effective December 9, 2014. We have a motion to accept the resignations. Motion to accept. Second. Roll call.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Eisenberg? Messer?
Yes.
Labret?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
There are no appointments on for tonight. We have for council approval from Our Lady Queen of Peace Church requesting permission for their annual bingo license and instant raffle license effective January 8, 2015 to December 17, 2015. Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion for approval. Second.
Roll call.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Labret?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Resolutions by title.
Resolution 16614, a resolution endorsing the Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund change of scope. Resolution 16714, resolution authorizing cancellation of outstanding checks. Resolution 16814, a resolution ratifying and confirming the purchase of a live scan fingerprint unit for the Maywood Police Department with funds from the DEA account. Resolution 16914, resolution authorizing release of performance guarantee escrow fees made by Bernardo Bergen Mall LLC for the Bergen Town Center development in the Borough of Maywood, Bergen County, New Jersey.
Is there a motion for adoption of the resolution?
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Labret?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Any new business? The old business? Miscellaneous business, this being the 120th anniversary of the incorporation of the Borough of Maywood, I encourage everyone to learn about the history of the Borough of Maywood. Talk to the Borough historian, Betty Fetzer. Read Ed Kaminsky's book on the library, the train station and the borough, and learn everything you can. Visit the Historical Committee's website. The trivia of the day regarding Maywood history. The purchase of 15 Park Avenue to be used as Borough Hall and the first fire department building was approved by a special election on July 12, 1899 by a vote of 45 to 18. At the same election, the bond for the purchase of the property was also passed in the amount of $2,100. On August 17, 1899, the borough took the deed from the property from Dorothea and Gustavus, Fourth, for the property. The original building was constructed and quickly after the purchase and was destroyed by a fire on October 30th, 1914. A new building was built in 1915. You can see the photos of the cornerstone being laid on the 3rd floor of that building. And the current building, I believe, was completed in 2003. Opened in 2003. So there's your Maywood trivia of the day. Okay, we have items for closed session.
It's a contract.
I think there's such on that as well. Is there a motion to go into closed? Yes, motion to go to closed. Second. Roll call.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Labret?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, Mayor and Council meet in closed session to discuss the following subject matters: contract negotiation and personnel. The bill resolved is precisely determined at this time. The discussion conducted in said closed session to disclose to the public upon taking final action on provided disclosure not violate the attorney-client privilege or constitute undue invasion of privacy. Be resolved, further resolved, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood did not envision a return to open session after this meeting, but reserve the right to do so.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I have a suggestion. Why don't you get a picture of Newton or New York? I don't know how it's going to turn out.
Albert?